half of the NBA Finals, and it's my pleasure now to introduce two very familiar voices. From the Boston Celtics, on my left, the great Johnny Most, 36 years in the NBA, 2 with the Knicks that you might not know about, and a man who has broadcast more than 2,000 straight games, the only lone remaining of the Minneapolis Lakers, now with Los Angeles, Chick Hearn. And Chick, do you remember back when you did your first game? Do you remember any memorable moments during that?
First game I ever did was at the end of the season. Lakers didn't have a broadcaster in the first year they were in Los Angeles. There wasn't any interest. But they had Baylor and West, and they were playing in the playoffs, St. Louis, Missouri. They asked me to come out and do the game, did, and between them they got 63 points, and I said, this is for me.
Johnny, you became a basketball announcer out of necessity.
Yeah, more or less, and although I did love the game all the way, but the first job I ever had as a staff announcer, I did one sports show a week, and the general manager of that station kept on harassing me, so I beat him up and I lost my job.
Hey, you know, there's a different perspective. I mean, Chick and Johnny see things a different way. You don't believe me? Let me take you back to the closing moments. Magic Johnson, Game 4, and here's how these voices saw that play.
He didn't shoot it. 5 seconds left. Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good! 2 seconds left. The Lakers take the lead on Magic Johnson's running sky hook. Woo-wee.
Magic steps around. Magic is going in. Magic throws up a hook. It's good.
Johnny!
Chick, you do get excited.
But you didn't get very excited in that hook shot.
You're not very popular out in Los Angeles, Johnny, and I can't understand that.
He is with me.
Well, I tell you something. First of all, I want to correct one thing right now. Chick and I are friends. We're not adversaries. We're not. As a matter of fact, we're discussing very seriously going into business together.
Chick, I thought you two guys stole material from each other all along.
No, I'm not very popular in Los Angeles. I think that they don't like my hairdo. They don't like Jimmy Rogers' hairdo. They don't like Dick Versace's hairdo. They probably don't like my face either, but I don't blame them about
Chick,
that.
how about your reaction when you come to Boston?
People are very, very friendly. Of course, they don't know who I am.
They will now.
And incidentally, that station manager he beat up when he got fired,
yeah,
it was a lady.
You two guys are
he
great
might have
personalities.
been. I never noticed.
Great personalities. They've had a chance, really, to work with the two greatest basketball dynasties in the history of the sport. Let me take you back to some memorable moments. I know so many of you have heard Johnny Most. Here's the great one involving John Havlicek.
I want to hear this.
All right, Greer's putting the ball in play. He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it. Over the stand, Jones. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over. Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans. Johnny Havlicek.
So that's how Johnny saw that. But now Chick Hearn had a great moment earlier this year. They were in Denver. The Lakers were inbounding the ball.
A three-pointer by Bill. The Notre Dame shot is an air ball taken by Magic. He throws to the other end. It went in! It went in! Ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable.
That was one of the great baskets, Chick. What do you think now about this series and the second half of this game?
Well, if I were the Marriott Hotel in Los Angeles, I'd reserve about 50 rooms because Boston's coming back. The Los Angeles Lakers didn't play very well, but the Celtics played very, very well in the first half, and they were a great team led by the inspired Larry Bird, and I thought McHale was tremendous.
Well, before the game started, they were talking about you got to take one game at a time, but not only take one game at a time, you got to almost go one possession at a time, one quarter at a time, and that they have won the first 2 quarters. That's all they've won so far, and they know. I'm sure they're talking about it now. They can't count this thing as money in the bank. They got to go another 2 quarters.
Johnny and Chick, I want to thank you very much. You got second half duties. We'll be coming back with our live coverage of the second half. But first, we're going to take you to a CBS news break in Washington, D.C.
Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn getting ready for the start of the third period, and toward the end of the half, Michael Cooper went out with a hyperextended right knee, and there you see him putting on the rubber sleeve over the right knee. He has come out on the court to practice and hopes to play. For a further report, here's James Brown.
All right, Dick, the Lakers are in the same situation as they were in Game 4. They've got to make the adjustments. The Laker coaching staff said that the Celtics are using their physical, brutish strength to their advantage, pushing the Lakers around on the defensive end, and on the offensive end, they've gotten 14 easy baskets baskets in the paint. When I asked Bill Burke, the assistant coach, if the Lakers are losing confidence, he said no way. We'll see in the second half. Back to you, Dick.
All right, JB and Tommy, the Celtic bench played a total of 25 minutes in game number 4. They competed for 22 productive minutes so far in this ball game, and that's helped, but they haven't seen one aspect of the Laker defense yet.
No, they haven't, and that was with the quickest team that the Lakers can put out there, their press team, and it was very, very effective at tiring out the Celtics and also taking them out of the low post game in game 4. It was a big factor in their win.
The front line for the Boston Celtics have done a number on the Los Angeles Lakers. And they have nearly doubled them in points and in rebounds. So that's been the Celtics' strength. Coming off the screen is Larry Bird. The Celtics lead by 15 points. They led by 8 at halftime. In the last game, Robert Parrish with 3 fouls misses, and there's McHale with an offensive rebound attempt, and out of the pack comes Magic Johnson and Scott. 2-on-2 now for the Lakers, and Scott slows it down. And Worthy from Magic Johnson, and James Worthy was 1 for 9 in the first half.
Celtics have played Magic Johnson one up in that low post. That time they doubled him, and that's what can happen. Easy layups when you double Magic down there.
Steal by AC Green, 3-on-3, but Dennis Johnson effectively stopped him. Now Magic, the second man through. Celtics actually had more fast break points than the Lakers in the first half, and that's a big surprise.
They are up pacing the game themselves, and Casey Jones, with all those substitution minutes in the first half, can afford to upbeat the game.
So the key was the bench, where Greg Kite played 10 minutes, quality minutes in the first half.
He has to play about 15 minutes in this series for the Celtics to win every game. 15 good minutes.
AC Green. And Ainge for 3. That would have gotten the crowd really roaring. He hit the three-point shot at the end of the first half. Magic Johnson with a runner, and it looks as if Magic wants to take command here for the Lakers.
He always does. Tries to get them untracked with his own offense and also creating for others. Nobody better at it.
Bird, and there's a Laker foul inside as Worthy tried for the steal. Let's take a look now at the minutes. You remember that the Celtics starters were over 40 in game number 4, but only 2 players were over 20 minutes. And the same for the Lakers. So Casey Jones effectively went to his bench, and it paid dividends. But just about 2 minutes gone by here in the third period. The sports director at WUSA TV, the CBS affiliate in Washington, D.C., finally came up with a solution to a question that had concerned him for several months. Who does Tommy Heinsohn sound like?
Both teams have got fumbleitis. They both need to calm down. The Pistons, if they're going to uppace this game, really have to control their emotions.
Hold it, Barney. Hold it. What's going on at your house?
They had it diagnosed for a couple of games, but it looks like Parrish went to the film room during that suspension.
Wait till the fellas down at work get a load of this. Barney's wife taking judo lessons to protect him.
All right. Abba-dabba-doo, Dick. Abba-dabba-doo.
It took a long time to find the man. It's distinctive.